I don't want to know how many hours you're wasting every month planning campaigns and trying to stay organized. The truth is, most Shopify brands don't have a campaign problem. Now, what do they have? They have an organization problem. So after working inside many different email accounts, I've noticed that the brands with the best email systems are usually best at planning. So in today's video, I'll give you my exact email campaign planning template, show you how to use it, and then explain why it actually works. Alright, some quick context on why I actually decided to record this video. Most brands I see plan campaigns reactively. Quite frankly, the last minute planning just naturally creates bad campaign ideas. You don't have thoughtful angles, you don't have thoughtful concepts, and to be honest, a simple planning system actually solves most of these issues. Alright, not to waste any time, we're in Notion already. You can see I set up a new calendar with this exact template, and it's pretty simple, straightforward. Just click on the plus right here, and you can see, of course, there's not much filled out yet, and it looks really confusing right now, but it's really straightforward if you understand the basics of it. So first thing I want to differentiate, which we do really different at our agency, I would say. We have a separate planning template for designed and text-based campaigns. And you can see I can click on the designed one, and then you can see the template right here. We will go into detail on that in a second. And you can see right here, then also says designed. So also, of course, you can click on text-based down here, and it will look slightly different than the one for the design campaign, but don't worry about that. We're going to go over that in a second. So let's just start with the designed one. You can see, of course, right here, you see the headline. First of all, you can just type in anything you want there. Just give it a name that really differentiates itself from other campaigns. Right here, you can see the send date. Of course, it says June 3rd. If we move it to next week, you can see it says June 10th, so nothing to worry about. Then for the include segment tab, it is really easy, really straightforward. You can just basically select the segment you want to include. Let's say we're currently warming up our list and we only want to send to the 30-day engaged segment. Of course, we're going to select 30-day engaged. So this is basically the people we're sending this email to. And right here, you can see the exclude segment tab, which by default says once per week, once per month, and low performing domains. Kind of complex to understand, really simple if you understood it. But basically this is for, first of all, warming low performing domains. And then also this is for sending out to people that updated their preferences. So when someone basically updated their preferences, a person who clicked once per month, we of course only want to send to them once per month. So we want to exclude them for basically for all the campaigns except for one campaign per month. So let's say this would be the correct date here. We'd basically deselect that one, but just leave it as is right now. And already what you can see right here in the front view, you can already see the segments we include and we exclude, because this way it's really easy to see the segments we sent out to in the past, which segments we're going to send out to in the future. And you don't need to manually click into this and then read what exactly is written here, but rather you can just see, all right, maybe we excluded the once per month segment in, oh wait, in this campaign right here. And then we're going to calculate it. And then the math is not mathing, wait, just 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. And then we can basically deselect it in this campaign again. You see what I mean? So it's really easy to keep the overview basically. And then to move on, of course, right here, subject line and preview text, pretty self-explanatory, I would say. Send time as well. If you have a fixed send time, just paste it in there. Then content angles, also a great way to kind of define your content that you're going to have the email about. We have brand awareness, educational, promotional, product launch, product highlight. Basically, this covers everything across the board. If you have a campaign, like let's say you use this calendar after this video, and you have a campaign that does not fall under these categories, please reach out to me. Please let me know. We've never had that happen, but maybe that might happen in the future. I'm curious. Next thing, hero image, pretty self-explanatory as well. You can either link to it or just upload the file here. And then images below the fold. You can also choose many different images. Be aware that when you're on the free Notion plan, you can just upload images. I think it was up to 5 megabytes or something. So you're going to reach that limit pretty fast, and you might want to just consider upgrading the plan if you didn't do that already. All right, next you can find all the relevant links right here. First of all, the A/B testing template, which I already made a video about in the past. And you can also find it in my free resources. We basically just link it in here naturally by default. Then you will have a link to the Figma file of your brand or any other design file you're using. We personally use Figma at our own agency, and yeah, it's just good to have it linked here so you don't need to pull it up separately, especially when you have several different clients. And then of course brand assets, where you find all the images, all the brand guidelines, etc., etc. And then when you have certain relevant links and docs for this certain video, for example, you want to link to a certain social media post or something, just paste it in there. It's pretty easy as well. Then objective, kind of one bullet point, one long bullet point. What is the exact goal of the email? Then the content, we always like to fill it out with 2 to 3 bullet points in total. Have the approximate content of the email, what exactly we want to have in the email included. Most important tab, from my opinion, is the sections tab. And it's really important that you fill it out properly, so that first of all, the designers, but also the people who upload the campaigns at the end of the day really have an easier job. So right here, you can just paste in the headline, paste in the content, so the body copy you want to have. And then of course, which page you're linking to, especially for the person who uploads the campaigns later, so they don't have to guess. And then of course, the CTA, how you want the CTA to sound like, which exact CTA you want. Keep in mind that again, this is for the designed template. And also, if you have a certain product display where you have many different products in a zigzag layout, for example, the template kind of changes and you will need to create your own template below that. You can just type it in here. Basically, for simple sections, this is really the way to go. And based on that, you can just advance and create different sections as well. Oh, and before we move on, one thing I forgot is the status of the campaign, of course. We have different status right here. Idea, planned out, if you plan out the content, ready for review, if the campaign is designed already, approved, if certain people who need to approve it have approved. For us, especially, it's of course the client. For you, you might basically have people in place that approve the campaign. Maybe you also have people that read through the copy again, check the design, check the layout, maybe also other designers. It's pretty self-explanatory. Then in Klaviyo, of course, uploaded in Klaviyo, planned out, send, of course, you send the campaign. And then really interesting right here, Klaviyo send date needs to be changed. This is especially important if you move the campaign to another date because you have a restructure in your campaign calendar. Basically, that campaign was already uploaded to Klaviyo. Of course, if you moved it, it still says 3rd of June, but you moved it to June 26th. So you will need to edit it in Klaviyo again. Next, we're going to go to the text-based one, and it's pretty much the same. You know these things by now. You know the status, the include, exclude segment, subject line, preview text, send time, content angles, exactly the same. Of course, here for the hero image and images below the fold, by default, naturally, we set it to none because in text-based emails, you don't have images most of the time. Of course, if that is if there is an exception or something, you can just edit it here as well. Then, of course, the relevant links again. And then you also have the objective and the content here, pretty much the same. One thing that is kind of different is the main CTA, which basically consists of a whole section. So basically, if you feel curious, you can discover our new, let's just say our new product. What is happening right here? Oh, right. Product right here. And this is basically the call to action because, of course, this wouldn't fit in a button and is basically for a text CTA. So it is adapted to the actual text-based email. Now, sections right here looks a bit easier to understand because you just have text-based. It again says text-based. And then you just know what to link to. You just paste the link in here. And then basically, of course, when uploading the campaign, you also paste the link in here so that it's clickable. All right, so that's basically it for the Notion calendar. One thing right now, I encourage you to go into my free resources and download this Notion calendar for yourself, for your own brand. You can use it for free. You can just use it for your entire email planning system. Of course, this is just for email, not for other channels or for outbound or for social media or anything. So really dedicated towards email. Now, if you see someone else with this exact template, we're glad that we could help out and you will know it's from us. So again, quick overview, how we actually use a template. We plan campaigns weeks in advance, usually 3 or 4 weeks in advance for all our brands, for all our clients. Man, today is really tough. Then we also keep campaign ideas organized. We track upcoming promotions, always great for entering all those promotions, all those holidays in advance of the year, and then just working around them. And then we also, of course, maintain consistency, because when there's something happening, when there's an event coming up, when we don't have that much time in the brand for actually planning out the content, we always have this 3 to 4 week safe zone, you could say, where the campaigns would just naturally keep setting up. Also, if you're part of a team, it's a great interface for designers, campaign strategists, copywriters, etc. Everyone that is working on planning the campaigns, sending out the content, sending out the actual campaigns. And it's really great for connecting and having an interface for all those people together. What's the key takeaway? Better campaigns usually start with better planning. And the more organized your email systems actually become, the easier it is to grow with your brand consistently, because you don't have stress around email. You can simply plan out the content. You don't need to worry about what to send out tomorrow, because tomorrow is already being sent out automatically. So it really creates less anxiety and less stress around your brand and your email system. Now, again, you can download the template completely for free in my resources down below. And if you want more in-depth tutorials in Klaviyo and any other platforms we use like this, you can always check out this playlist right here. I didn't figure that out yet.